The very fact that thousands of people are crowding together for a Trump rally in Tulsa is yet another example of the president's approach to governing. One set of rules for him and his cronies, and another set for everyone else. In this instance, his own CDC is warning against gatherings like this, and members of his own task force tried to dissuade him from holding the event. And it's not just that the president thinks public health rules don't apply to him. He made waves last night with the attempted removal of the U.S. Attorney for the Southern District of New York. His effort to bypass the normal rule of law was briefly delayed as Jeffrey Berman said he would not step down until the Senate had confirmed a presidentially appointed replacement. Not content with that, President Trump personally fired him this afternoon, at least according to Attorney General Barr. Meanwhile, the president claims he's, quote, not involved. Joining me now is my panel, former Florida Congressman David Jolly and Don Calloway, Democratic strategist. Congressman, the president decides to fire the U.S. Attorney in the Southern District in New York after they would announce that he was moving on and going to resign. He put out later, he being the U.S. Attorney, I'm not resigning, fired today. This is a U.S. attorney that, as by many reports, confirmed reports, was investigating members of the president's inner circle, including former mayor and former prosecutor Rudy Giuliani. How do you read this?
That Donald Trump is a corrupt president, that Attorney General Bill Barr is a corrupt attorney general, and the House of Representatives should open an impeachment proceeding against the sitting Attorney General of the United States for obstructing justice in investigations looking into President Donald Trump. That's the only way to read this, Reverend Al. And this is the Southern District of New York. It is sometimes referred to among attorneys as the Supreme District of New York. It is an area where some of the nation's most sophisticated and complex cases arise, certainly within the financial sector, but in this case, in the backyard of Donald Trump. It's the district that's been responsible for the conviction of Michael Cohen, Donald Trump's attorney, a case in which Donald Trump was named as an unindicted co-conspirator in that case where Cohen was convicted. It's also the district that had the Epstein case. It's the district that has Rudy Giuliani, that has several of the characters around the president's impeachment. This is a move by Donald Trump to delay the investigative authority of the Southern District of New York. It is corrupt. Whether or not this was a direct call by Barr or by the president doesn't really matter. This is a corrupt administration, and the House should open impeachment hearings into the Attorney General.
Don Calloway, this is a Republican former member of Congress saying that he's corrupt and they ought to open up impeachment proceedings. Let me ask you this. When we see the firing of Berman and we see the moves to try and replace him, and the reports are by someone who never even was a prosecutor, and then on top of that, we see John Bolton's book coming out and a federal judge saying it can move forward. And it has, among other things, said the president engaged the president of China into interfering with an American election by doing some trade that would help bolster him politically. Is some of this kind of language the president is using about protesters in Tulsa and other things, him trying to take attention away from Bolton's book and from what he knew he was going to do with the U.S. attorney, and try to have some point of drama in Tulsa and kind of rev people up so people will forget and news media will not cover that you have a book out that has said things that are absolutely explosive by his former national security advisor, and you're trying to fire, or in fact firing, a guy investigating members in your inner circle.
Well, to be quite honest, Rev, corruption is the order of the day. Obstruction of justice, as John Bolton wrote in his book, is a way of life for this president. So I don't even know that the Tulsa rally is even taking attention away, because as you and I have been in this media game for a while, if your head explodes every day, then you have no head left to explode. And we are so far down the road of everyday corruption with this administration that I don't know that coverage of it really yields any dividends for those who are opponents of the president. And it's certainly not changing the minds of the people who support the president, as we see from a packed crowd, non-mask wearing there in Tulsa tonight. So I don't even know that the president is trying to detract attention. Those that are with him are going to be solidly with him. But I do think that it's another layer of the case that can be made about the rampant everyday corruption. If anything, it hopefully helps suggest that Joe Biden should be president post haste, that we can hurry up and get through this election season. And it's just another straw on the weakening, ever weakening camel of this entirely corrupt and frankly incompetent administration. They're not even that good, frankly, at being corrupt. You know, I would like to push back on this whole notion that this was some type of racist dog whistle of a rally. Is far beyond dog whistle. We're at the point of bullhorns. I've long since stopped ascribing any type of strategy or thought process to President Trump. But I tell you who did know about this being Juneteenth and who knows all about Black Wall Street in Tulsa is Stephen Miller and Steve Bannon. I know he's no longer there, Sebastian Gorka, who's no longer there, but these are actual white supremacists, avowed white supremacists who have the ear of the president. You double that down with the axe handle anniversary at the next rally in Jacksonville scheduled for next week. How many times can we say that the president is engaging in coincidences here? He's not. He's actually doubling, if not tripling down on his deplorable base, the 35%. He's not going to do what we'll see Joe Biden do in the coming weeks and months, which is try to expand the base, run to the center, try to show that he's not exactly a liberal crazy. But President Trump is going to double down. The congressman knows this, and I'll close. The simple math suggests that if the president is going to double and triple down on this racist base, then he's counting on not expanding his base, so he's counting on voter suppression, not funding the post office, and actual votes being suppressed to win this election. Cheating is the only way he can win at this point.
All right, I'm going to have to leave it there. David Jolly and Don Calloway, thank you both for being with me. Up next, my final thoughts. Stay with us.